All right. Well, this is apparently harder to do than I thought it was going to be. Again, first real instructional video that I'm trying to do. Keep putting my hand in the way too. So please forgive the lack of professionalism. Another thing I have in the back here that maybe you saw sticking out and I didn't mention, and you're like, what the heck is that? Is that an antenna or something like that? Yeah, it looks kind of like a lip from a Pricky 7, right? but no, Prick 77. But instead, what this is a piece of banding from my work. It was holding these big steel girders together, and my son gave me the idea to cut off a piece, and I wrapped the back end of it with a little bit of Gorilla Tape, so it gives you a little bit of cushion, and then the front side of it is a Slim Jim. I mean, and this thing just pops through your door, and you open your door with it, pretty sweet, or somebody else's door. It's a nice little Slim Jim for free because it was just a piece of banding I cut off, a wide banding at that, not the thin flimsy banding, but this thick stuff. And man, it fucking works great. I've already freaking opened a couple cars with it, and I was super happy about it. Another thing I forgot. Holy smokes! Maybe I'll just redo this video from the beginning. So, knives, right? So we talked about my carry knife on the one side here, and I've my one-handed opener, the Kershaw Blur, and I've talked about the SOG, which has got a blade in it and a typical multi-tool. But for a fixed blade knife, and a lot of people go with a K-bar or something like that, and K-bars are great knives, and there's tons of great knives out there. But one of the things that you want to do, or at least want the option to do in a survival situation, is to make a Dakota fire pit, because Dakota fire pits, they don't put off a lot of smoke. They're hard to see from any kind of distance at all. They throw light just pretty much straight up and nowhere else, right? Because they don't throw light like for miles off into the distance to the side. Instead, they're just pretty much straight up. So unless somebody's straight above you, they really have a harder time seeing you um, using when you're using a Dakota fire pit. So if you're taking your nice sharp K-bar or the knife that you've spent a whole bunch of time on a sharpening stone, and suddenly you're digging a hole in the ground and hitting rocks and stuff like with it, it's gonna hurt your feelings. So instead, here's this thing, and this is one idea I got from, and I had to employ from Corporal's Corner, is the needle on the in the sheath of the knife. I dug that idea and I put it right in there as soon as I saw that. The rest of the bag is just picked up and gone, right? It's just the way it was. And so my deficiencies compared to his are honest, except for that's not honest. I did that from him. Thank you. So anyway, this is a Fiskars trowel, garden style trowel. Look at that bad Billy. So it's a trowel, right? It's full tang, bad ass trowel, and it's sharp as a mother. It's got a saw blade on one side. It's got a sharp side on the other side. And I've dug quite a bit with this thing, and look at it. The thing is perfect. It's stainless. It's not damaged. The thing is just a tough little son of a, you know what I mean. And I was super happy with it. This is another thing. It was like $10 at Fred Meyer, and I thought I was just gonna beat it up in 15 minutes of using it. And as a matter of fact, I was building a small deck for a family friend, and I needed to dig the holes for the posts, and I knew I wanted to try this thing, but it's not really the right job for doing a commercial deck. But what the heck, I'm gonna try it out anyway. So I dug all the holes for this post in rocky ground, and it was still sharp and great a great piece of equipment, and I just threw it on the sharpener and sharpened it just a little bit more since then, and that thing's wicked. It's a freaking great blade, and fixed blade knife, I just don't think I can beat it for my get home bag. All right, so let's dig into this middle pocket. And in the middle pocket, in this cool El Jimador bag, which I really dig the bag, is a washable face mask. So, you know, all you guys out there with your bandanas and so on, you're going to wet your bandana. Well, I live in a state where there's volcanoes, so I wanted something that was really going to protect me. So this thing goes on, and it's freaking awesome. It's got vents, so you don't feel like you're constricted. It's got this nose thing that you can bend to the shape of your nose. It goes around your head. It covers up, even if you've got a beard like me, it covers you up really nicely. These are on Amazon. This is a ATV Tech face mask, and the thing works great. It does fog up your glasses a little bit if you wear glasses, so it's got that downside. Other than that, the thing is freaking fantastic. Folds up super small, goes in this other bag to keep it clean. When it gets dirty, you pop the filters, or you not filters, you pop the vents out and throw it in a wash it, you're done. This is the Sawyer system. You guys will recognize this. I don't really need to pop it out of here, do I? This is the Sawyer filter inside here, water filter, with the bag wrapped around it. You know, there's a bazillion reviews on the Sawyer water filter, the Sawyer Mini on YouTube. If you're not familiar with this product, take a look at it. There's tons of videos on it, so I don't really need to break that open and do that. Wipes. I have a number of wipes in here, but these are the Grime Boss wipes that work well for like dirty hands and so on, but you can use it for anything. You know, like you go to the bathroom out here, these will work as toilet paper. So they're not so abrasive that they're gonna give you a rash. I mean, not using them once or twice out on your way home from wherever. I wouldn't suggest, you know, you change out your toilet paper in your bathroom with those, but in a pinch they work okay. I have some Cliff Bars. These are 3 Cliff Bars, and these are the Peanut Toffee Buzz. And the Peanut Toffee Buzz are cool because they've got caffeine in them. They're like a cup of coffee in each one of these bars. So instead of carrying coffee around, I'm kind of a coffee addict, so I'm gonna need some coffee after a little while, and I know that I'm gonna need some caffeine after a little while. And since I know that, and I don't want to carry caffeine with me or a coffee that I've got to make, I've got these Cliff Bar hooked me up by producing these bars with caffeine in them. That's freaking awesome. This bag here this is kind of my gray man version. Like if I really want to go gray man, I can wrap this around the whole bag. It's a rain cover. That was like $7 on Amazon, something like that. But it's a rain cover, and it also makes my bag look so like like 5th grade-ish, you know, like Jan's Pack backpack would be the same style camouflage. It's not, it doesn't look, it looks, it's camouflage enough to actually work as camouflage, but it's not camouflage enough to look military, you know, because nobody's going to mistake that. Well, maybe there are a few people, but very few people are going to mistake that for a real honest-to-God Army or Marine or Air Force or anybody else's pattern. So I have earplugs, and in this old school military earplug case are newer style foam earplugs. I've got a dog tag with, you know, with my information, and I've got the fact that a red dog tag that states that I am allergic to penicillin. Again, it's redundant to this thing that says I'm allergic to penicillin. Alright, so this is my first aid kit. There's a trauma pack in there, more gloves, 550 cord, quite a good length of 550 cord, and then there's some just regular bandages in there. To go along with that, military special whiskey. So this is not just any whiskey. I'm not talking like just your regular old single malt scotch, whatever you might put in there, for the end of the world. No, this is military special. This is no joke. No, seriously, it's just a blended American whiskey, and it's actually not too bad, but nothing special about it. If I'm not going to be crying because I had to pour Lagavulin over a wound. But since it is also an antiseptic and it worked for a couple of different things, I felt like one thing I might need when I'm worried about, my wife and kids back home, and I gotta stop and take a break and put my feet up for a minute because my feet are just killing me, or I've got to put some moleskin on or something like that, of which I have right here. I change my socks and that type of thing. I'm gonna take a break for a minute. I might want to cool my jets with just a little shot of that. So yes, there's one comfort item in here that I felt was worth it. Survival blanket. Now this is a good quality higher end survival blanket. Still just a survival blanket, but a little bit more high end than your average little $1.99 one. Now this is one of the items I use a lot. So again, because I'm in the construction field, I work with a bunch of guys, and a lot of times they're like, man, I wish I wore my belt today, my pants are freaking falling off or whatever, and I'll dig in my bag and I'll let them use my belt for the day. So I have on a 911 rigger's belt. I keep it to the side, one side, not to be super stylish, but so the end of it, this end, doesn't get in the way of my holster. So I wear it one over, so this holster isn't doubled up, isn't over a doubled up belt. So this is also a rigger's belt, and this is actually a little better rigger's belt. This is Spec Ops rigger's belt, and again, if you're not familiar with rigger's belts, they are the way to go, especially these ones that have this on them. So a lot of these military style rigger's belts don't have some part to hook, right? But this is for a D-ring, so you can hook a D-ring on it. Once you have a D-ring on there, you have a makeshift, not even a makeshift, this is exactly a safety harness that, if you get in, if you're in the military and you jump in a Black Hawk helicopter or something like that, you have a lanyard, and the lanyard goes down and hooks onto the floor and just to your belt. You're not wearing a safety harness, and now the door can be open or whatever, and you're not in danger of falling to the ground because you've got this high-speed rigger's belt on, a D-ring in there, and a lanyard to the floor of the chopper. Okay, so to dig further into this pocket, I don't have, like the guy in Corporal's Corner had, a external charger for his phone. That's a pretty good idea. I like that idea, and I do have them, but I don't have them in this kit. Maybe I should do that, right? That's one of the things I can modify. But this little deal here is Kindon, all right, Amazon, and it comes with this is the deal, right? This is a thing that comes out for you can plug it into your cigarette lighter, and then a USB cord. It goes out to USB, or it can plug into your house power, 110. So it'll plug into either one of those and give you power out to the USB. And then I also bought separately a super short, really little USB cord, but it's tough. It's a kind of a tough one, but it's a little bitty one because they don't give you much extra room in this little case. So with this little bitty cord and that, I can have a cord that works with my phone, and I can charge it either in my car, in somebody's car, or in a house, or off a generator or whatever. But I can charge my phone. I do have some ability to do that, even if it's not the external charger that the guy in Corporal's Corner had. Okay, so again, like I was saying, for your if your wife or girlfriend needs something, or your daughter or something like that needs a product that that they can't go without, or is really uncomfortable to go without, take it along with you. I mean, talk about your brownie points. If you have this and they need it, you're the friggin' hero. So I have some feminine hygiene items here, which you can tell what they are, I think, by what's in the bag. So these items will also work for blood loss, wounds, and so on. So it's not like they can't come in handy for me too, but if you're out and about and you have your bag and somebody needs this, man, this is better than a Superman's cape right there. Toothpicks. These are great for what they're intended for. So again, you're a hero. You can go out and have a steak dinner, and now she's like, I can't get it out of my teeth. Here you go. There's a toothpick, baby. Nice, huh? Okay, because I'm old, and a little small pack of Rolaids. So I've got a little bit of Rolaids in here, get me by. And then in here, this is kind of a cool idea that I got from my wife, of taking a straw and putting stuff inside the straw and then melting both sides of the straw. So you have this little container, and I marked it with blue tape, fire. And this is a fire starter. Inside there is cotton balls that are saturated in Vaseline and then pulled into the straw, and then the straw is melted on both sides. So there's a couple cotton balls in each one of these, and I've got a bunch of them. You can see in here I got a bunch of them. You just light the edge of this. You don't have to take the cotton balls out or anything like that. You just light the friggin' edge of it, and they burn for quite a while, and they'll start some fairly wet wood. It's not a perfect solution, but it's okay. That's it for the middle pocket.